Hey entrepreneurs, it's AJ and welcome back to Business as Unusual, practical motivation during uncertain times. Today's topic is privacy versus convenience. Now, you might have heard of the unlikely partnership between Google and Apple, and they're coming together during this crazy COVID times to create what's known as a contact tracking set of capabilities. It's an incredible project that has caused a lot of distress amongst people here in Australia, the US. Pretty much anyone who's heard of the project is freaking out. And there's a reason for that. But I feel as though that if you just take the time and energy to understand the technology behind this project, you might get a different perspective as to what's going on. And the reason why I say that is, look, if you go to the Google and you type in the word Einstein, you'll get 145 million entries. But if you type in the word Marvel Universe, you'll get 273 million entries. So what that tells me is that people are more driven by entertainment than logical reasoning and science and technology, right? We're influenced by the movies, and there have been a lot of crazy movies about this stuff. And look, I just feel as though if you were to understand exactly about the science and technology behind it, well, you might think differently. Now, full disclaimer, even though my background was in technology, I invested this morning in understanding this project and looking at what technologies they're actually using. So the information's rattling around my head. It's still very new, very fresh. And so this conversation here between us today is not going to be as eloquent or as polished or as Emmy award-winning worthy as what you might have been used to in other videos. But look, I just really want to serve you and give you a different perspective than what you might hear out there. So everything I read is linked in below, and you can go read it yourself and make up your own mind. But look, let's explore and let me share what I got for you. Okay, so first of all, this project, it's in two parts. The first part is Google and Apple are going to create an API, an application programming interface. And that's all techno-babble for you, I know, but think of it like look, my little niece makes the most amazing pasta, like phenomenal pasta, and it's got this beautiful chicken that's it's flavorsome, it's a little bit crunchy and spicy, and it's just it's yummy, right? And I was wondering, how does she actually come up with this pasta? And then I noticed all around there are stacks of KFC boxes, right? So the way you think of an application programming box is like, you have, a set of code or a thing, if you will, that can do amazing things, right? The KFC with 11 herbs and spices, and then you take that and you share it with others that allow other people to do amazing things. So you have this raw ingredient that you can share in other meals and becomes a part of other meals, different variety of meals. And so Google and Apple, they're creating this interface so that public health authorities who have already got apps can leverage this functionality and capability to do contact tracing. And look, it's a really interesting way of how it works. So how does it work? Well, first of all, give you an example, right? So Bill and Amy get together on have a conversation for about 10 minutes, socially distancing apart, yes. And Bill's phone signals to Amy's phone that they've come into contact, okay? And I use the term signals here very deliberately, and I'll come back to that in a second. So Bill's phone and Amy's phone signal each other, and they signal every 15 minutes, and that's that, basically. So then Bill goes off, Amy goes off, and life goes on. Now, 14 days later, Bill is diagnosed with COVID-19, and he gets a notification on his app that says, do I wish to notify other users of this app? And so he says yes. And then Bill's phone signals the cloud, and anyone else who's got this app gets signal that they have come into contact with someone with COVID and they should get themselves checked out. Now, the technologies behind that. First of all, before I get into the technologies itself, I want to share with you the elephant in the room. The reason why I use the term signals and not data is that people lose their mind the minute someone says anything about data. You'll have old mate like, nah mate, no government's going to get a hold of my data. Yet at the same time, yeah Bill, pick us up a 6-pack mate and chuck it on the card. Yeah, you're already sharing data, right? You might not even realize it. There's a tool where you can go have a look at Facebook data that it's been collecting on you. And so, understandably, people are a little bit antsy about data, but in the name of convenience, do you really think about the sort of data that you share? So there's that. So that's what everyone's up in arms about. And the way this works, let me tell you about the way it works. So the signaling, okay, first of all, that happens using Bluetooth. We already know what Bluetooth is. It's when you drink a lot of cold drinks and your teeth go blue, right? No, you know what Bluetooth is, but there's a special version of Bluetooth called Bluetooth Low Energy. And think of it like a burst of energy, and then it just goes quiet. Another burst of energy and it goes quiet. Okay, so that's what they're using to signal the phones, which is why every 15 minutes there's a burst of energy. Okay, now in those signals, look, it is data, but it's encrypted data using really heavy crypto algorithms. Again, another fancy word, but think of it like, for those of you who hate maths, think about this in terms of mathematical problems. You need to do crazy ass mathematical problems in order to work out exactly what this data is. So it's all encrypted at the phone level. It's all encrypted, so there's no master database of all this data or anything like that. It's all encrypted, and then they just basically swap IDs. And again, you can't really, it's not impossible to crack this stuff, but it's highly unlikely. And there's a whole bunch of different information out there, and you can go have a look at the articles that I read and make your own mind up. So there's no identifiable data. You can't tell it's Bill. You can't tell where he's been. There's no location or anything like that have previously been massive concerns in other issues surrounding data. So that's pretty much how the app works. It's a combination of Bluetooth and data encryption, pretty much, and then your apps, which is all, you know, user interface design and things like that. But look, is this a great idea? Well, that's debatable, right? The reason why it's debatable is that Bluetooth technology has got limitations. It works off radio signals pretty much, radio signals pretty much. And that's how, if you use an app like Tile Tracker or anything like that, that's how it finds your phone or your keys. It's measuring the signal length of the Bluetooth. So the limitations are it can't go through walls, so it can't really detect if a person is really in the same room. It could be adjacent rooms, we don't know. So that's one limitation. The second limitation is, well, how much contact have you had with that person? There's no way of real measuring that using Bluetooth technology. You need other layers on top of that. So look, does it have its limitations? Yes. But what all this kerfuffle comes down to is, do you trust the people who are making this capability and have the responsibility of sharing this capability with everyone? Do you trust them to do the right thing with their information that they're collecting? And you might initially say, no, I don't trust anyone with my data. But you kind of already do. You know, same thing as old mate giving his credit card out. That FPOS machine that is scanning, they collect a lot of data. And the banks collect a lot more data on your spending habits. And so it happens, right? But we don't really care about it because it's convenient. So now all of a sudden it's always been data privacy, data convenience, but now we have this issue of personal health and safety around. Would you sacrifice some of your data that's already encrypted and de-identifiable? Would you sacrifice some of that in order to keep people safe and healthy? So that's why it's privacy versus convenience, and now safety on top of that. So yeah, I just wanted to walk you through all of that and give you a really informed decision about what's happening with this project and, well, should you get involved? The other thing is that this is all voluntary. So is it even going to work? We don't know. But I tell you what, if I had to pick players who would develop this, I couldn't think of a better team than Google and Apple, because we already use their services, and their algorithms that they use are pretty robust. So food for thought, ladies and gentlemen. All right, entrepreneurs, that's me done. My name is AJ.global. Thanks for watching this video. Whatever happens in business and in life, I wish you nothing but success. Go read all these articles and make up your own mind. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.